Hello, back again with another slightly different video today with another presentation I made for university. As said last time, I made this university boards. I solely made this. This isn't plagiarism, and the person who submitted this didn't plagiarize it, as they are the same person. I hope you enjoy Witches. Joseph Glanvill, Witchcraft and Seventeenth-Century Science, 1932, by Moody E. This article discusses Glanvill's main piece of work, the Catechismus Triumphatus, which was used by Glanvill to try and squash any criticism of witchcraft and other supernatural phenomena and to prove the existence of a world of spirits. The main elements of the article explain Glanvill's work and explains that he himself is in favour of witches. This is strange, as he was a philosopher of the time, and it's a quite clear paradox that he was an intelligent man who had very strong philosophical views, but also was very strong in his belief of witches. But Glanville explains that this is due to issues this would have with the providence of God, as witches were seen as spiritual beings, but if the denial of witches is due to their spirituality, then there would be issues with the acceptance of God. The article also explains that Glanville didn't passively accept the idea of witches, but strongly defended the belief of witchcraft due to these prior religious explanations. He explains the issues that would occur from believing in witches, which would conclude in God not existing. This is controversial, as many of the people of the Royal Society didn't like the idea of witches, but he personally believed that the Royal Society was important for religion and secured the foundation against all mechanical atheism. The article has many strengths. One of these is how it is set out. It is set out in a very easy and understandable way that makes sense. It has a little introduction at the start explaining Galvin and his place in the world, and that's followed by 5 easy to read sections about his specific arguments. Another strength is that it has a large variety of sources, of primary and secondary. Lots of these primary sources are specifically from the Catechismus Triumphatus, with each time it being quoted there being a nice explanation explaining exactly what he means. Despite this, there could be seen as some weaknesses in the article. This could be seen as the nature of the sources all seem to be similar. This is due to them all being written. However, a non-written source such as a painting or wood carving wouldn't really make sense due to what the article is explaining, so it's not that much of a weakness. Second weakness could be seen that most of the secondary sources could possibly have out of date ideas. This is due to them all being from the early 1900s and the ideas we have of witchcraft in modern day being slightly different. However, the article was written in 1932, so the knowledge we know now would not have been known at the time, so again, this weakness is very underwhelming. An overall evaluation of the source. The source is very strong, as it helps us understand how intellectuals would have believed in witches, unlike how it's normally seen as peasants as being scared. This is due to the philosopher Galvin having his understanding of witches explained deeply. His understanding of witches came purely philosophical, and how there must be a spiritual link between witches and God, and if we were to deny witches, we would then be denying the existence of God, which he was strongly against due to being part of the Royal Society. Overall, this shows how people could have been intellectual and intelligent and also have believed in witches without it just being based on fear and religion. The source also helps deepen a person's understanding in Glanvill and his work, as it explains it very nicely and keeps it very clear and understanding in what he is saying. To conclude, the article by Moody E. about Joseph Galvin, Witchcraft and 17th Century Science is very strong. This strength comes to its good dissection of Galvin not only as a character in the world, but his ideas. The introduction explains Galvin as a person and how he got to where he was in life and where his other biases may come in, and then it explains his arguments. His 5 strong arguments are dissected well, with quotes throughout from his own works. These direct quotes from him are put in with other primary sources from the time, as well as secondary sources to help back up the arguments he makes, as well as the arguments the author makes. The sources are very strong, and as well as this, the main source, the Catechismus Triumphatus, is tackled very well, with the quotes from it being dissected and put in a very easy to understand modern version. Overall, the source is very strong.